You were born inside a machine, a system that rewards just enough to keep you moving and takes everything else back. It doesn't matter how hard you work, how much you sacrifice. The outcome was decided long before you began. This isn't chance. This isn't accident. It's design, a design that feeds on your effort and never lets you go. Tonight, we are going to open this machine and see how it works. The rules you thought were natural were written. The debts, the wages, the endless bills, they're not random. They are part of a design that locks millions of people into struggle while quietly feeding wealth upward. This isn't just economics. It's history repeating. In real time, 40% of Americans cannot afford a $400 emergency. Student debt has climbed past $1.7 trillion. Medical debt weighs on nearly half the population. And while the cost of living has doubled in a generation, wages have barely moved. These numbers, they are signals. Each one is a cog, turning silently in a larger machine. A machine that does not reward hard work, but consumes it. A machine that turns effort into debt, time into bills, and security into scarcity. It starts with something simple, a line of credit, a card slipped into your wallet, a promise that you can have what you want, right now, and pay later. On paper, it looks harmless. A $10 purchase here, $100 there, an interest rate, 18%, maybe 20%. Manageable, they tell you, but here's what they don't tell you. Those rates were never designed to be manageable. Missing a payment once doubles your burden. Falling behind just slightly means owing more in fees than you borrowed in the first place. In the fine print, hidden beneath pages of contracts, is the quiet trap. And by the time you see it, it's too late. Debt is no longer a tool. It's a leash. Every paycheck, every hour of your labor, now tethered to a system that grows stronger the more you struggle. This is the first mechanism of the machine, a system that convinces you to borrow freedom and then charges you for the rest of your life to keep it. Debt alone doesn't hold you. It needs help, and that help comes from the place you live. Every paycheck is already spoken for. Rent, utilities, insurance, interest. What remains isn't freedom, it's silence. A silence where saving is impossible, where escape is postponed month after month. Between 1980 and today, housing costs have tripled. Wages, nearly flat. And in that gap lies the trap. A landlord can raise rent, not because you can afford it, but because they know you have no other option. The debt machine feeds the rent machine, and together, they grind you down. This isn't chaos, it's coordination. One gear turning the next, poverty engineered not as a side effect, but as a feature. And yet, this is just one gear in the machine. After the break, we'll look at the part you were never supposed to notice. Up to this point, you might think this is just economics. Wages, rent, debt. But the machine has a third gear, one that ensures the others will never stop. It's the part you were never supposed to notice. The system that writes the rules themselves. Lobbyists, corporate donors, private interests, quietly shaping policies that make poverty profitable. Payday loan rates capped at triple digits. Tax loopholes carved out for the very institutions charging you interest. Housing subsidies diverted to developers instead of renters. In the last 20 years alone, the financial sector has spent over $10 billion lobbying Congress. $10 billion invested not in innovation, but in making sure the gears keep turning. And here's the secret. The machine isn't broken. It's working exactly as intended. It extracts, it consolidates, and it protects itself. The trap wasn't an accident of history. It was engineered, piece by piece, law by law, generation by generation. And if you've ever wondered why no matter how hard you work, nothing seems to change, it's because the machine was built to keep it that way. This is the part the numbers don't capture. The cost isn't just financial, it's generational. Every child born into debt is already carrying a burden they didn't choose. Families working 3 jobs don't build savings. They survive paycheck to paycheck. And survival doesn't create opportunity. It only repeats the cycle. Think of what this means. Dreams delayed. College degrees traded for credit card bills. Health put off because the rent is due first. A lifetime spent running just to stay in place. And while millions struggle, the machine feeds itself. Investors profit when rents rise. Banks profit when debts grow. Even your poverty has a price tag, and someone, somewhere, is collecting. History will remember wars, elections, crises, but rarely the quiet gears that decided who would rise and who would remain trapped. And yet, every machine has a weakness. It is not fueled by oil or fire. It is fueled by people, by their time, their labor, their choices, by you. The truth is unsettling. The system needs you more than you need it. Without your effort, your repayment, your compliance, The gears grind to a halt. That is the paradox hidden in plain sight. The same machine that traps you also depends entirely on you. So the real question is not whether you can escape the machine, but what might happen if enough people stopped letting it run.